Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Fern, and today I'm making a Luis Funko Pop from Resident Evil 4 because they haven't made one and I really needed one. This video I actually recorded from the beginning, so here we have our base Funko Pop, which is Ben Solo from the final Star Wars movie. I can't remember what the name is, but there's a little turnaround of him. I had to rip him off his stand, as you can see. It was a lot of X-Acto knife tearing at his feet, and I cut my finger. It's fine, it's healed now. But here you just see me gluing the holes on his feet so he stands better and sanding off some of the details on his shirt, as well as filling in the neck hole, because all of the Star Wars ones are bobbleheads. When I get a bobblehead Funko Pop, I always convert it to a stationary Funko Pop because the bobble ends up making it so much more difficult to work with. The heads always end up flopping around everywhere and causing me a lot of problems. So what I do is I usually fill the holes around the springs, singular spring, with hot glue, and I just pile it in there until it doesn't work as well. And then I use the same air dry clay that I use for the rest of the body, as you can see here, for his jacket and his shirt. I use that and I fill in the gaps and smooth them out as best as I can. It doesn't always come out super smooth, but it's under the head, so I just do my best and it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, so as you can see, here I am shaping the jacket, and I didn't have to do too much clay work on this pop because his hair was already kind of the right vibe, during my playthrough at least. I'm not sure about anyone else's because I haven't had a chance to watch too many, but Luis's hair was always flying around his face like crazy, so I figured that this Ben Solo one was kind of perfect for that vibe. A little messy, kind of curly, but not too curly. Right vibe. So I basically just had to sand down the shirt that Ben Solo had and add for the jacket, and some jeans at the bottom, because Funko Pops usually have pants tucked into the shoes, and I never need the pants tucked into the shoes. I always need cuffs, or at least the bottom layer of the pants, so I always change it. But here I am painting his hair, and I didn't have too much trouble with the hair color, but I did have to go a little bit lighter. Again, in my playthrough there was clipping and lighting issues, so his hair was always like gray every time I tried to get a picture. Here I am painting his face, and I did have a lot of trouble with his skin tone because all of the pictures that I found, the lighting was wrong and there was no flat lighting I could get where I could just get a clear reference, so I just did my best to match it, and I think that the final skin tone that I came out with came out pretty good. Now, I didn't mention this at the beginning, but as you can obviously tell, this is a Resident Evil 4 Remake Luis Pop and not original Resident Evil 4. The new design is just my favorite. It's way better than the old one. I feel like he was so undervalued as a character in the original, and it kind of shines through in his design. I think that the design in the remake came out much better and my favorite. So here you see me painting his beard, which again I had trouble with because I ended up making it way too dark, and I had to go back and kind of mix it with the skin tone because Luis has more of a stubbly type beard, and so it's kind of very transparent. So I went back and I just mixed my paint with the skin tone and I fixed it like that. But I've finished most of his jacket now, it looks like, and went back in on the beard. And in a minute, you'll see me doing the details on his jacket. But before that happens, I had to go back and work on his nose because I completely forgot to do his nose. I realized something was wrong about partway through. I was like, this doesn't look like Luis. Something isn't working. And I realized that I hadn't done his nose. In the past, if a character has a larger nose or more of a hook-shaped nose, I'll always use clay to just like sculpt it on, just a little bit different, because Funko has the tiny little pointy triangle noses, and it doesn't work for every character. So what I've done with some in the past, for example, my Heisenberg Funko Pop and my Moreau Pop, but Moreau has a strange nose anyway, so he would need a different nose. But definitely with my Heisenberg Pop, I had to add to the nose, and then like you can see I just painted over it off camera because it had to dry, and it looks much more like Luis now, I think, in my opinion. Sometimes it's just that little extra detail that like brings something together and you're like, yes, that's exactly what I was missing. It's perfect. So in between the gap when I painted his nose and when I sculpted his nose, I actually went away for a week. I went to Spain, which was amazing. Very Resident Evil of me. We went to Barcelona and Madrid, and it was amazing, incredible. They were both beautiful, loved them, did not get infected by any plaga, but I did hear a few bells that sounded like they were nearby and that everyone was going to bingo. Luckily, I managed to escape Spain unscathed. or perhaps maybe unluckily, depending on how you look at it, but I did avoid any Spanish islands, so I was very safe from regenerators, which I was nervous about flying to Spain, finding a regenerator. I think after playing the remake, regenerators have been added to my list of irrational fears, and now there is always the very small thread in the back of my mind that I will encounter one somewhere, someday, and I'm very much not excited for that. But for now I'm safe. I just need to avoid any purple tubes full of liquid and regenerators, and I'll be safe, so that'll be great. By this point, you might have seen the little thing in the hand of the Funko that used to be the lightsaber. I was initially going to give Luis a gun, because I was looking at working out cardboard and hot glue, and I was trying to figure something out, and the glue just kept falling off. So inevitably, I just ended up putting some clay at the top of it to smooth it out, and I made it the little vial that he was giving to Ada. Can't remember if it was an amber vial or a plaga vial. Whatever it was, it's the thing that Ada ended up with. I can't technically remember if we ever saw Luis holding it, but I'm pretty sure he had it. If he didn't, that's my bad. But it's the thing that Ada had, so we're just gonna say that he had it at some point, and if he didn't, that's fine. And as you can see in the video, now I've finished up the jacket with the detailing. I've just also done the cuffs on his sleeves that pop out on his wrists under the jacket, which the pop was just wearing a shirt, so it was kind of hard to do that, and I just painted it on his hands, but it's fine. Here you see me paint his jeans, and then I had the wrong color, so I had to remix it and start again. I think that covers most of the things that I wanted to talk about the pop and my side trip to Spain, my side quest, as it were. For my next pop, I'm going to work on the Ashley one probably, and then the Ada one, and then bonus little wolf dog thing from the bear trap. I'm not sure if I know how to make a tiny bear trap, but I might try because that'll be cute, and then I'll just put it beside him, which is kind of horrifying, but Leon saves him, so it's fine. Just need the little aesthetic additions to the shelf, the branding, the theming. Okay, so here I am painting the little vial, and I kind of painted it too blue, but it's glass and it's kind of bluish, so it's not supposed to be super blue, but we're working with what we have here. I can't really paint a lightsaber transparent at the bottom, at the hilt. But yeah, as we approach the end of the video, I just wanted to say that my next Funko Pop is probably Ashley, and hopefully that one will be out soon. In a second, I'll be giving you a full turnaround, horizontally, without the Mod Podge coating. I use matte Mod Podge, but it always comes out slightly glossy, because that's how Mod Podge is. Just touching up the bottoms of his shoes, and then after this I did have to touch up his eyebrow because it was slightly transparent, but here he is. And a little spinny spin, his little jacket detailing before it's all shiny and Mod Podge and a little bit more difficult to see on the camera. Little vial. I make my pops pretty quickly, but this one took longer because of personal reasons and life events. But here he is with my mini me and little Leon. And turn around with the Mod Podge coating. Thank you so much for watching if you've watched this far. You can subscribe if you'd like to see the rest of my videos and the Ashley Pop. Thanks again for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon. Thank you, bye!